What's going on, guys? Yeah, it's a little windy today, but I'm gonna do another review video on something that I've been getting a lot of questions about. As most of you know, whoever has seen any of my videos or watches my channel, I'm a real big gearhead. I love working on stuff, motors, farm equipment, whatnot. One question that I've really been getting is about the establishment that I work on everything, which is that garage right there. A lot of people have pointed out that it is a metal garage. It's not a stick-built garage, which I'm going to explain to you the benefits, the pros and cons, why I went that route, and ultimately the cost of everything and what I think about it so far. So I'm going to go ahead and take you inside and talk a little bit more about it out of the wind, and then I'll give you a full tour of what it is and what all I had done, and hopefully this will help you out a little bit if you decide to build a garage. Alright, now we're inside out of the wind. Yeah, this garage here, I had it built 2 years ago by a local dealer here in southeastern Ohio. It is a 24 by 40 metal building. You can hear that wind outside. But now, most of you are probably asking, why did I go this route instead of a stick built? A couple reasons. One, for the cost. I got this built in 2022, and when I first bought this house and property in 2019, I was looking to build a separated building, a garage, a detached garage, so whatever you call it. And at that time, I was looking at stick built. However, when COVID hit and lumber went through the roof, that's what made me kind of lean towards a little bit of a metal building. Because at that time they were cheaper. Now it's about, well, metal buildings actually still, they might be a little bit closer in price now, but metal buildings go up a lot quicker. So I started looking around, and all you got to do is just go online and find out which company you want. I prefer going with somebody who has a local dealer around you, a local contractor who handles all of that stuff. The people who built this is Reliable Metal Buildings who built this. I went to the general contractor of Ohio Valley Buildings in Dresden, Ohio. He builds, like some of you may have seen, my wooden sheds. He builds all this stuff like that, but he also deals out in metal garages, carports, etc. He actually has a few examples there to show you. But whoever your local dealer is, and also, but even before you do that step, you can go online to whichever company you want to go with. It's like trucking, you know. Trucking companies, you can work for a different one every day for the rest of your life and not work for them all. You could search every day for the rest of your life and still find new steel building contractors out there and companies that do it. But that was the one that was closest to me. I went in there, I met with him. When you go online and look at this, you can fully build your garage to whatever spec you want. You can choose where you want your doors at, what kind of door you want. Do you want cutouts for a double garage door like I did? Do you want a roll-up door like I got? Basically, you can design it completely the way you want it, which is beneficial considering, you know, you may have to have it designed a certain way depending on where you want to put the garage. I had everything drawn out. This is like I said, a 24 by 40 deep garage. I have 10-foot sidewalls on it, and it's about 13 at the peak. So, yeah, 24 by 40. It's 900 and some square feet. He also, most of your general contractors will also know a concrete person, which is beneficial because you need to get the slab poured before your structure gets here, because they bolt this directly to the concrete. Usually, if the concrete guy has worked with the contractor before for the metal building, he knows exactly how to build that slab. So, you know, it's not going to break or anything when they bolt around the edges and all that. I actually have some pictures of before and after, you know, my slab being poured and all that, which I'm going to go ahead and show you. And yeah, concrete. You gotta, all this stuff you can finance. Well, the concrete I don't know about, but the building, yeah, you can finance. I would think long and hard about doing that, because the interest rate on some of these metal buildings, guys, it's like a credit card. You're paying 3, if not 4 times as much as the building would cost if you were to buy it outright. I was fortunate enough to save a little bit of money from driving truck over the road, where I didn't have any mortgage or anything like that, and was able to push back and only get necessities for about a year. It really sucked, but I was able to buy my concrete outright and pay for half the building outright. But yeah, if you can't do that, I would look into home equity, or maybe a personal loan through a bank or a third party or whatever. The financing through the metal building company, that should be your last option, because you 6 ways to Sunday on that. It's highway robbery. But I got the slab built, and it was not a week later that this building crew came and started putting up my building. I was a little bit nervous, but luckily it was cured in time. I went so let's backtrack a little bit. I went into the general contractor. I can't remember if I brought in the 3D image of what I wanted to build, or you can walk through what you want right there. You decide everything: cutouts, man doors, roll-up doors, windows, how tall you want the ceiling, how tall you want the sidewalls, how big you want it to be, the color of the siding and the roof color. You decide all of that on that 3D image. Now what he'll do is he'll do that. When you do it online yourself, it does give you a price off to the side. He'll give you a final price and a rough estimate outlook. If you don't already have a guy, more than likely he will put you in contact with a concrete man. I had this slab built. It was done after 2 days of prep. He came in here with a skid steer and he really flattened it out to the way he wanted it, and then built the 2x4s and everything around it, and got it leveled out and everything. I had a drain put in, which I will show you. And then I can't remember how much later, maybe a week or so or less, he had mud out here. He was dumping the concrete and everything. He knew, and I'm going to point out when I do this walk around in my building, he's done metal buildings before. I think he does it to all his buildings. Actually, he did where I wanted the doors a certain way, which is actually very beneficial if you can do it. The concrete got poured. The concrete was about $9,000 outright with everything. I went ahead and I went with a 4-inch slab, but it's only 4 inches in the center. Because around the outside corners and stuff, he ordered more concrete than was needed, but he still used it all. So, some of the corners and stuff of this building, he says that's anywhere from, 6 to 7 inches deep, which is good, having that strength on the outside. But, yeah, it was 2 increments of $4,500. I paid for that outright. And then a week later, the building crew showed up. Now, they showed up about a day earlier than they were supposed to, so I had to take that day off work, which honestly didn't bother me none. But what they did was, I paid for half of the building with a cashier's check, and then I paid for it all with a cashier's check, but I used half the cost of the building out of my bank account, and the other half I took out a personal loan with my bank to do that. I didn't want to put it on my credit cards or anything like that. I was seriously considering it because when you do final payment and inspection on this building after they build it, they require a cashier's check. So if you do it with a credit card, I don't know how that would work. It was just easier to do it that way. And they came out a week later, and what you see, guys, this building, this 24 by 40 by 10 foot wall, 13 at the peak garage, with double bubble insulation on it, and the man door and the roll up door that came with it, and the frame out and all that stuff, 14 hours. It took this crew 14 hours to build this building. The entire structure. And the only reason it took them that long was because they had to roll out the insulation on the roof and the sidewalls. Had they not done that, they would have been done, quicker. They know what they're doing. That's all they really do. They came out at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was here. I was working afternoons and evenings at that time. So I went ahead and had to call into work and, told them I'm not coming in because they were going to be done with it that day. And they did. They got done with it about 10 o'clock, 10:30 that night. This was all done. And I have a couple pictures that I want to show you of them in the building process and then the end result before I got my garage door installed. Now, the estimate on the building, which is due upon final inspection, your general contractor, he'll give you the cost of all that and everything. Mine was $18,500 for this 24 by 40 by 10, etc. The package I got, I just got the one man door there at where I wanted the entrance. I got a 16 by 8 cutout for my double garage door, or frame out they call it, and then I had them install a 9 by 8 roll up door on the back. The reason I got that was because there's a driveway on the other side of that I'll show you. Both this edge of my double door and the edge of that roll up door are 2 feet away from the wall, so therefore I can drive straight through my garage if I need to, because there's a driveway on the other side that goes and turns out and goes out on the road. So if I'm pulling a trailer or something and I need to unload something, that's nice because I don't have to touch the gravel at all. So that's why on my design, this is what I wanted. and they built it perfectly. I had them install, as you can see, double bubble insulation, which I was a little on the fence of to beginning. I didn't know how it would work, but then this year was my first year with a wood stove in here, and it holds heat no problem. Like if you were to come in here, say you go to the auto parts store and you come in from in town, your vehicle's warm, and you got to work on something, even if that wood burner's not going, the heat from your vehicle will, depending on how big your garage is, will kind of keep it comfortable in here. I wasn't going for like home temperature or anything, as long as it's in the, lower mid 50s in here, comfortable sweatshirt working weather, I'm fine. But yeah, that wood stove, it's really came in handy this year. Along with the double bubble insulation, you don't get any sweat at all, which is a good thing, with it being all metal. But yeah, and then I went to my local Menards and ordered this double door, this 16 by 8 garage door. I highly recommend, if you've never done it before, that you get somebody who has, or you hire somebody to do it. Because believe me, if I could go back knowing what I know now, hanging this from, where there's no trusses or anything to bolt anything to, knowing what I know now, I would definitely hire somebody else to do it. It was me, my mom, and her boyfriend, and let me tell you, that was a nightmare. It was tough. The garage itself, with the door and all the hardware and everything, that was, I want to say roughly around $1,500 and change for that. And then the side mount garage door opener, that Genie that I have there, that was about another $300 to $400. So all in all, for the building and everything, and just the doors and everything I put in it, right around 30 grand is what this building cost before I put anything in it. Just from what I wanted. And I'm going to show you now everything I have done to it, the pros and cons of it, and then give a final review on it. Okay, bear with me, folks. This is a working garage. It's pretty messy in here right now. I do have some pictures of it when it's completely cleaned up. So, the water you're seeing, that's from my pickup truck. It was raining earlier that I parked in here. Like I said, this is a 24 by 40 with concrete. I had him put a drain that you can see right there that runs outside, halfway down and off center a little bit, so I'm not completely parked over it and it's not dead center in the building. When I built this, I'm going to open up this door. This is the man door. It's like a 36 by 80 or something. It does come with it. It doesn't have a deadbolt. It just has a hand lock. But depending on where you live, that may be all you need. The house that you can see, years ago, there used to be a cabin here, and it was a self-built cabin. There was no breaker box in there. There's a breaker box right up there by the meter, and that pole right there that he had. Well, unfortunately, the previous owner, that cabin burnt down, and he had this manufactured home put in that had its own 200 amp service, and he ran it off the pole as well. So that left that breaker box right there. But it's still attached to the main meter. That's why it was so easy for me to go ahead and just run 100 amp service. I can't remember what wire it is. You're gonna have to do your research on that. But I put a 100 amp breaker in that breaker box behind the meter right there, and trenched and ran it all the way down. And it comes up through the ground, and it goes in there. You see I have spray foam around it. And there's the box. Just comes through right there. So I have 100 amp service in here. And all I did, guys, was I got wood to metal screws from the home improvement store and did 2x4s. And I know this it doesn't look all the greatest, but yeah, so I have 8 different outlets in here. That one goes, that's the Genie side mount garage door opener, quiet as can be. And then I have that right here so I can just reach in through the door whenever and close the door without having to unlock and walk out the man door. But all I did was these metal beams. Like I said, there's an outlet there. I put 3 outlets down each side of this building and then mounted 2x4s with wood to metal screws that you see right there, right into these beams. And that's what's holding my outlets. It holds my ladder and everything. So that's something you can do. You can build your own shelves if you want. Just depends. The lights that you see, I have these 2 light bars. I just basically bought these off of Amazon for about 60 bucks. They all connect together. They're LEDs, and the white insulation on the inside really reflects it, so it's bright as day in here. And I have an outlet up there that each one of them are plugged into, and that runs down and splices into here along with, yeah, it splices into here, and then it goes into the breaker box to power it, but also this junction box here, it runs and it's on a switch. So, yeah, there's that. And it lights it up pretty good in here. So, like I said, I've got the 2x4s all the way around. I got 3 outlets down each side, 1 on the rear by the workbench. And this wood burner, I got it for a couple $100 there last spring when people weren't needing them anymore. And I just ran the pipe right out the side when we do our outside walk around. I'll show that to you. I haven't had a problem with any kind of melting or anything from the insulation. It works extremely well. This is all I need, just this blower right here, and it blows the heat right out. And you see I got my ashtray and everything right in there. Everything is out of condensation in here, so nothing really, like I have these bush hog blades that I'm working on right now. I'm working on the gearbox. They're brand new, sitting on the concrete floor, not a drop of rust on them. So, you know, the insulation, all that keeps the condensation out. I highly recommend it, and also it keeps you warm. We get here on the back wall, and I'll move these. And we have our man door. Now, when you get your man door, I don't know if they make them different now or what. This is originally where the latch was. The latch was on the outside. Right there, you see where the lock was. However, as I did my research, they have openings on the bottom of these doors. That right there, and there's one on the other side. Now, I wanted to be able to open and close this from the inside, so what I did was I took that latch off, and then you can buy these for a roll-up door. I forget, they're like 30 bucks or $40, and it comes with 2 latches for each of the bottom, because these rails here that they install, they come with that slit in the rail down there for this exact purpose. So I can lock it from the inside, and just move it like that, and like that, and lift it up. I have not moved the handle on the inside yet. And boom, there's my garage. Oh, whoops. I accidentally hit my garage door opener when I did that. I'm gonna go ahead and close that because I don't want a draft coming through here. You hear how quiet that opener is. It's nice. Now, I can't remember if it came with it or not. They make these bristles, this weather guard. You're going to have a gap in this roll-up door if you get it. I highly recommend getting this. You can cut it to length that you need on the top. You can see it right there. It's on the top. And then it's on the sides here. This cuts out virtually all the wind. I highly recommend you doing it. Makes it a little tough to roll down, but you know, especially where I'm at, that wind would just cut right through here. So then when you're done, you just kick the locks, lock it back up, and it's good. They can't open it from the outside. Okay, is there anything else in here? Yeah, you see on this insulation, they tape it together. You see that's how they did it up top. And some places it's starting to come apart, but you know, it's behind. I'm not worried about it coming apart, really, because still no water's going to get in there because it's overlapped enough. But yeah, this garage door, man, when you have no cross member going across here like what's on the bottom of a truss, it is a pain in the butt. I had to buy all these pieces here. The rails and everything came with it, but like these big pieces right here to hang down that far, I had to get all that. So yeah, unless you've done it before and you or you know somebody that has, have a professional do it, because it's a pain. But yeah, got this door in, got the side mount garage door opener in, and that's pretty much the inside. Now I'm going to show you something that you really need to do, and I did it on the outside too, and that is siliconing. You can't really see it, there's a lot of crap on it, but I siliconed underneath the rails all the way around this building. Why do I need to do that? Because water gets in, because unfortunately, had I known this was going to be a problem, I would have definitely had him do to the sides of this concrete slab like he did to this garage door, and this is what I wanted to show you. You notice how it's kind of down a little bit? No water gets up in here. If water gets underneath the garage door, it does not come up in the building. Now, you see he did that. He did that for the roll-up door back there as well. I don't know if you caught that, but if I could go back, I would have had the concrete guy do that around the outside edge, all of it. And if you have that done, you will not have this problem. I know on some buildings they have something now where they can put up underneath of it to prevent that from happening, because that is a major problem with the metal building. That's the one major drawback. But come outside. Now, the siding, you see it's horizontal siding, it's not vertical. You can choose whatever base color you want. Bottom color, if you could choose to go that route, trim, and roof color. I just got a white roof because I didn't want it to be 1,000,000 degrees in there. I don't regret that. The white and black, I'm a real big fan. I'm a real big fan of the black around the bottom. But the problem is, I need to get gutters on this, because I'm going to show you where the water just beats down. Yeah, you don't have gutters on these metal buildings, so you got to figure that one out yourself. But look what it's doing to my concrete. That's the concrete underneath. It's just beating down all of this around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo dirt in here, and probably a little bit of river rock if I can. But I have an idea of how I'm going to do these gutters, and if it works, I'm definitely going to make a video on it. The problem is the attachment of the gutters. That's just a thin tin panel that's up there, that black panel. that's right underneath the roof. That's what you would have to attach those gutters to. But over time, you know, it'll break. It's not sturdy at all. But I have an idea that I might try to, in between those beams that go on the roof, try and put a 2x4 there and see if I can screw these those anchors for the gutter into those 2x4s. And if so, you know, that'll make it a lot sturdy and it'll probably last. But like I said, I did it on the outside as well. This Lexol silicone, yeah, I sprayed it on the outside as well. It seals it, it keeps the water out. You have to do this. Like I said, if I could go back, I would have definitely had him groove this edge right here to prevent that from happening. But yeah, you just see where that rain, my goodness, it's just eating away out there, and that's not good. So I need to address that. Yeah, it's even worse back here. I definitely need to address this problem before it becomes a major issue. Yeah, just put the gutters and a downspout right there and just send it right out into the yard. Oh yeah, I walked right over it. This is the, I haven't covered it up with dirt yet. This is the drain out of the garage. See, it just goes right there and just goes down the hill. And that's nice if you're like washing something inside your garage. That's really nice. So just, it doesn't cost much more to do, so just have him do that as well. Okay. Go around here. Yeah, excuse the mess out here, dude. This is just a scrap pile is all this is. Here's my stack for my wood stove. It just comes right there. It's anchored on the roof. I just went down into a cross beam that they already drilled into. No leaks. So, yeah, haven't had any problems with leaks. But I got that. I made sure it was a little bit taller than the peak, so the smoke's not an issue. But yeah, the same thing's happening this side. You see, you know, it's not so bad right there, but man, I need to get some gutters on here. And like I said, I'll definitely make a video on it if it turns out that that's the proper way to do it. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back in here. So you guys, really the only gripe I have is the no gutters and the rain coming up underneath the sides of the building. I fixed one problem and I'm planning on fixing the other one. But yeah. For a stick building of this size, you're probably looking, just for the building itself, probably around 30 grand without concrete or anything, depending on who your contractor is. And like I said, this building went up in 14 hours, where if it's a stick built, you know, it could take weeks. This steel, this metal that I have in here, it's rated for about 170 miles an hour. We don't get hurricanes this far inland, and I doubt we're going to have any kind of F2 tornado anytime soon. We don't get them out here in Cambridge. It's kind of rugged. But I take that back. We have gotten them, but I'm not worried about it. Despite it being a metal garage, there is no difference insurance-wise versus a stick-built. I know, like on certain homes, if it's a stick-built home or a manufactured home, sometimes those are two different kind of insurance policies that you have to get. This one is not. It's a detached garage. That's what it is. You can fully cover it on your homeowner's insurance. That's what I did. Just cover the cost of the building and, you know, the comp for whatever's in there. Make sure you have comp on your stuff because, you know, if your building comes down. But yeah, you got just make sure you're insured. I had no problem getting this with Allstate, who my homeowner's insurance through. I just went ahead and added it on to the policy. But Last thoughts on this. I'm very happy with this garage. I cannot picture myself being without one now. Having went so long without one and not knowing the luxury of it. You know, not having to work on stuff in the driveway or anything like that. The cost and the rundown of everything that I said, like I said, that was 2 years ago in 2022. And that's what everything cost. You know, I wasn't lying to you. Depending on what part of the country you're in, it may be different. But I absolutely love it. Depending on what I do in the future, I don't see me ever going the stick-built garage route. The only thing, it may hold its value just a little bit better than a metal garage. But I mean, I'm happy with this. I couldn't ask for a better one. It keeps me out of the weather. It keeps me out of the wind. It does everything. It does everything pretty much a stick-built garage does. It's just built different. It's just built with different material. That's really the only difference, guys. You have to be inventive on some ways where you hang stuff, you know, wood to metal screws and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm very pleased with it. Hopefully this video helps you out on deciding. You want to build a metal garage, get online, see who your local contractor is or dealers in it. I know here in southeastern Ohio in Cambridge, they're a dime a dozen around here. Anybody who builds a shed or even car dealerships they deal in steel buildings. But yeah, do your estimate online, go talk to a contractor and set it up. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Talk to you later. See you.